What's up, guys? Just alpha in this bitch because we're fucking alpha men. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about narcissistic women. Um, just some signs that you need to look out for. And if your girl does this, or a girl that you're talking to that you're considering to make official, like serious, like you're starting to get booty whipped. If this is the case, bro, I'm telling you just to hold off on it until you watch the end of this video. And then once you watch the end of this video, just look out for these fucking signs. Don't lie to yourself, because it can cause you a lot of grief. It's going to cause you a lot of pain. It's going to cause you a lot of false self-reflecting, looking at yourself when it's just something that they don't like about you. So whenever you're, let's just start about why a narcissistic person is in your life in the first place. A narcissistic person is in your life to teach you about your own self-worth, okay? And the only reason that I can make this video is because I went through a period wherever I was extremely confident, to a point, to almost to a fault. But I was very empathic. You know, I still cared about people. I cared about people, but I cared about myself a lot more. So I felt selfish once I got into a relationship with a narcissistic woman. Now, and once I did, there was no accountability coming from this woman in particular. And because I never really was into relationships like that, I basically was just smashing chicks. I didn't really consider what it took to be the leader of a household. It really comes down, like, as a man, we basically are blamed for everything anyway. But in this situation, I'm letting you know what somebody that doesn't have your best interest at heart would be doing. So let's get into it. Now, first of all, a narcissistic person is always going to sit there. They're not going to take any blame for anything. Like I was just saying, like they don't have any accountability at all when it comes down to certain scenarios. Basically telling on themselves. They don't want to do that. So the first thing that a narcissistic woman would do, because she doesn't want to tell on herself, is that she's going to bring up somebody else doing something that she does herself. Now, you guys can be talking about groceries or something like that. Something random. Having a good old time, smiling. And she's going to come out of the woodworks with something that's outrageous. She's going to be like, wow, my coworkers cheat. One of the girls from my job, she cheats. She cheated on her man. And there will be no point to the story at all. Like, it's just like a random thought. Now, if you're just chilling or whatever, if you're not experienced in this, like you haven't dealt with women that do this, you're going to go along with the story. This is why I don't gossip with women, because there's no point. Unless they're basically telling themselves. I don't gossip about women, but you can definitely hear a lot. I mean, I don't gossip with women, but you can definitely see a woman's true colors whenever she starts talking, and she's going to incriminate herself and be fucking up. If they're sitting there and telling you that somebody else is cheating, most likely they're cheating. Because why would that thought even come into your mind to the point where it came out of your mouth? How did that thought, what makes it relevant to bring up somebody cheating in a random situation? Okay? And not just the coworkers, you got to look at her friends too, because birds of a feather flock together. I was in this relationship with this woman, and she told me that all of her friends were sluts, right? She said that all of her friends do all this crazy ass shit. And, you know, it's funny. I actually hung out with a girl this week and she did the same exact thing. I didn't even, it totally crossed my mind. Like, this is why I'm making this video, because we need to pay attention to this shit whenever it's fucking happening. Bro, she said that her friend was a major slut, right? She said that she cheated on her man, she would get a new man and then cheat on him multiple times, like a shit ton. Like, it's basically like they won't even be together. And this nigga knows nothing about it at all, right? And then I ended up being in a relationship. I'm already in this relationship with this woman, and she's acting like she's the biggest saint of all time, but she's fucking me like crazy. So at the time, I was straight. I was young, you know, definitely pussy whipped. I was like, oh, I don't need anybody else because I fuck so much. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter. But that was a thing to get me in the door as well. It was a thing to get you in the door as well. A girl is going to sit here and be a really nice actress. I like to get women talking whenever I talk to them. Whenever I direct approach a woman, she's basically going to be doing the majority of the talking. It's not going to be me. Because if I'm talking about myself, I know for a fact that a woman is going to merge into my frame and she is going to copy the shit that I say in some type of way where it's relevant to her so that I can see her in a certain type of light. This is what you call a love bomb. They're going to sit here and tell you everything that you want to hear because they figure out who you are as a person. They're very good listeners in the beginning. And then once everything hits the fan, everything is going to get exposed with this woman if you stick around long enough. But hopefully you don't get to that point because we're sitting here and we're talking about the red flags that you need to look out for. And I'll recap them all at the end because I know that I fucking talk in circles all day. Like, bro, like, this is just what I do. I can talk about this shit all day. When it comes down to women, it's like I'm a scientist with this shit. I enjoy looking at certain scenarios with women. I'll get into that in another video though, about more into female nature and stuff like that. But she told me that her friend was a hoe and all this shit like that. Didn't even cross my mind. Like, if that's your friend, then you're probably a cheater too. And her man never found out. Her man never found out about it. Her friend would always, the girl that I was dating, her friend would always break up with the men and just be out there. This bitch was for the streets, bruh. She was for the fucking streets. Her friend was. But if she was hanging out with her too, then the girl that I was dating was also for the fucking streets. All right? And I was blinded by it because of certain scenarios. But you don't have to be. If she mentions somebody else doing something, she's telling on herself. But she's not going to admit that to you. She's trying to see what your reaction is going to be to what she is saying. If you don't like it, then she's not going to bring up how she does it. And if you do, like, what can you really say that's positive about that? Like, what, like, how, like, she's testing your reaction to see how you are going to, how would you react to me if I told you this scenario? I'll tell you that other people did it just to see how your mind state is on it. But I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all. They're going to sit there and tell you what somebody else does. There's no accountability. She's going to love bomb you in the beginning. She's going to be very attentive. You're going to think that this is the girl for you. Once you tell her about your lifestyle, then she's going to merge to that and tell you that she has similar goals. But in actuality, this bitch has no goals at all. She's just another fucking, she's just looking for opportunities. They don't do, and a narcissistic woman is not going to sit there and attach herself onto a man that doesn't have any type of leverage that she can get from him. This is the toxic nature of female nature itself. But that's basically it, bro. They're going to love bomb you. They're going to talk about what other people are mentioning. And no fucking accountability. And if they do cheat on you, it's going to be behind your back. They're not going to fucking tell you unless they're trying to get an emotional reaction from you. These type of women, they're damaged, and they think that any type of emotional reaction, any type of attention that they get is suffice. They will start arguments with you just so that you can be able to give them some type of attention. You can be working on your business and they'll sit there and bitch about attention, not in a way like that a woman should do it, like, oh, we don't spend enough time together, but more so like a demand for time. You know, setting up situations where it's in favor for her instead of for yourself. Whenever she's talking to you, she's going to mention things about herself. Like in terms of, this doesn't benefit me. What does that have to do with me? She'll literally talk and she'll tell you a story about how she's an asshole to people and how she enjoys it. Like, whenever you go to a restaurant, she's going to be talking shit to the waiter, saying that she's rude to the waiter. And everything that's negative on her, once you're past the love bomb phase, she's going to put all that on you. She doesn't know who you are as a person. She doesn't care. She's going to think that you're a piece of shit regardless because she's a piece of shit. Stay focused, my friends, and just pay attention to these women. Honestly, on a spiritual realm, this is called a Jezebel spirit. The reason that, like, I never understood it because in my mind, I feel like all women can change and stuff like that. But if a girl's a slut and she had sex with hundreds of men, or we can just say more than 10 because most girls say that they have sex less than 10 times. You're going to multiply that times 5, right? If she had sex with a whole bunch of guys, then she probably doesn't have the ability to pair bond. I've literally experienced it, bro. Living with a woman that has an extremely high body count it wasn't really seeming like it was right. Like, she would take my lead, like I would take the lead and she was about it. And then if she doesn't feel like it's in her direction, then she's going to be like, she's going to play the victim with it. She's going to act like you did this and you did that, blaming, even if it's something that she did entirely by herself, there's some way that it's not her fault. Bro, all this is pointing to somebody that doesn't look within themselves to fix their problems. What they do is that they find people around them that they can blame for their problems so that they can feel better about themselves because they're telling that person how to be better, but they're not being better themselves, and they're not going to. I'm not trying to put any limitations because everybody can change, but if a person is doing this type of shit, they're not trying to change. And this is the time where you need to be able to let go of that person that you've been holding on to. This person is not good for you, bro. You need to let this go. You need to stop worrying about somebody that doesn't give a fuck about you. And they're only sticking around you so that they can benefit themselves in some type of way. Most people are like this in our society. But this is what specifically what a narcissistic woman would do. No accountability, like mentioning what other people do that she actually is doing, and she would admit this to you, to your face. Love bomb. And I forgot the other one, but you can go back. We're already at 15 minutes. I wasn't trying to make this video long. It's just, there's so much to talk about with this topic. A good lady to listen to is Lisa Romano. She talks about narcissistic people a lot. You listen to her, it's just gonna open up a little bit more. I'm not gonna gear this channel into like some narcissist abuse type shit. So go to her channel. Like, you know what type of time we're on this fucking channel. So just go to her fucking channel. I'll put the link down below. Y'all have a great day. Alpha out. Yo, just PS. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I went to the gym at 5 o'clock yesterday, and I worked 2 jobs and got off at 11. And then I'm still up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about to go back to the gym and do this shit all over again, because there's no fucking excuses in life. And if you're sitting here with excuses, you're giving other people excuses. So when you catch yourself lying to somebody else, it's really because you're lying to yourself. Stop with the fucking excuses. Change your fucking life one day at a time. It's not gonna happen. Rome wasn't built in a day. Just keep pushing. Don't worry about who is coming into your life and who's going. If people are leaving your life, it's because it's for a reason. And if they came into your life, it's for a reason as well. Alpha out.